2 years ago, on October 7, 2023, Hamas terrorists infiltrated southern Israel in what would be the deadliest day for Jews since the Holocaust. And while the world and news media initially expressed sympathy, that sentiment quickly faded as Israel began its response. 2 years later, Israel remains locked in a defensive war inside Gaza, fighting to eliminate Hamas and bring home the 48 innocent Israeli hostages who remain in captivity. To Canada's news media and all Canadians, the following is a reminder of the atrocities committed by Hamas in Israel 2 years ago and why it remains vital for Canada to stand behind the Jewish state in its defensive war to eliminate Hamas. October 7th started as a special day in Israel, the Jewish Sabbath, as well as Simchat Torah, a Jewish holiday which many Israelis would be planning to spend in synagogue and with their families. But it soon became the bloodiest day for the Jewish people in almost 80 years. In the early morning at 6:29 a.m., Hamas, the Gaza-based Islamic terrorist organization, fired 2,500 rockets indiscriminately into Israel, sending Israelis into bomb shelters. Using the rocket attack as a distraction, Hamas then sent thousands of its terrorists and countless other civilians by air, land, and sea into southern Israel, where they descended onto Israeli border communities, going house to house, raping, torturing, and murdering families in their homes, burning their houses, taking Israeli hostages into Gaza, and other horrific, unspeakable acts of barbarism. They also attacked the Nova Music Festival near Kibbutz Re'im, where thousands of young Israelis had gathered to party. That morning, Hamas gunmen descended on the festival, cutting off every path of escape. They trapped and ambushed terrified young Israelis, murdering those who tried to hide and opening fire on people attempting to flee. Many were executed in their vehicles at point-blank range, while others were shot by machine gun fire and even anti-tank weapons as they ran across the open fields. 378 young Israelis would be murdered, and another 44 people were taken hostage by Hamas from this festival. In total, the October 7th Hamas attacks saw more than 1,200 innocent Israelis murdered and 251 men, women, and children dragged into Gaza as hostages. In the immediate aftermath, the civilized world proclaimed its steadfast support for Israel in the face of such grotesque and inhumane cruelty from Hamas. But it didn't last long. Despite telling Israel that it had every right to defend itself, those statements dissipated as quickly as Israel began exercising that very same right. Over the past 2 years, Israel has pursued two central objectives in its defensive war in the Gaza Strip. One, the elimination of Hamas, and two, the return of the hostages. These goals have been made far more difficult because Hamas deliberately embeds itself within civilian areas, neighborhoods, schools, and hospitals, using Palestinians as human shields. Despite this, Israel has taken extraordinary measures to safeguard innocent Palestinian civilians. These include advanced warnings via text messages, phone calls, leaflets, and broadcasts before strikes, establishing safe corridors and pausing operations to allow civilians to evacuate, and delivering unprecedented levels of humanitarian aid, more aid in fact, than any military has ever provided to an enemy population during wartime. Yet, anti-Israel voices continue to distort reality, falsely accusing Israel of committing genocide. Worse still, some politicians and world leaders have effectively rewarded Hamas's brutality by prematurely recognizing a Palestinian state. Let us be clear. The only genocide that has occurred was on October 7, 2023, when Hamas intentionally massacred Jews simply for being Jewish. Everything that has taken place in Gaza since then is war, and the direct consequence of Hamas's refusal to surrender and its continued captivity of Israeli hostages, perpetuating the war at the expense of both Israelis and Palestinians. Canada's news media must not lose sight of why Israel is fighting in Gaza and stop vilifying Israel for defending its very existence against a genocidal terrorist organization. As the second anniversary of that dark day approaches, the world must never allow the memory of October 7, 2023 to fade, nor extend forgiveness to those who carried out such unspeakable atrocities.